Well, it's time now for our second press review, and Solange Mougin is here with us for that. Solange, you're starting off with continued revelations then about those Discord leaks, the leak of top secret U.S. intelligence documents, of course.
Yeah, we still don't know the name of the person who leaked the documents, but we do know more and more about him. As we see on the front page of today's Washington Post, the leaker who went by the name of the OG online, he obtained the documents at a military base where he worked. He, quote, dished to his admirers in and around a 25-person member group that became like a close-knit family. Now, the leaker was a bit of a father figure, and he helped run the group server, the group chat room on Discord, the online platform that is popular with gamers. Now, in an exclusive interview by a member of the group and a friend of the leakers, the leaker said, the friend said the leaker, quote, loved God, guns, and racing cars. He said the leaker had some anti-government sentiment, but that he was by no means an operative for a foreign government or another country, nor was he, in the Washington Post's view, a whistleblower. Now, the documents were eventually moved to a larger chat room, as the New York Times tells us, and this chat room was affiliated with a YouTube celebrity who goes by the name Wow Mao, a 20-year-old college student. Wow Mao has said that his sudden affiliation with one of the largest leaks in U.S. history of secret documents came as a surprise. Nonetheless, the fallout continues. As we see in the Wall Street Journal, Washington is still investigating and assessing the damage of this leak, but the documents do appear to have shed light on certain vulnerabilities about American weapons, the composition of brigades, as well as infighting within the Russian army. The intelligence leak is for this cartoonist. Hang, as he puts it, it is a bit of an embarrassment for the U.S., an unraveling of the Pentagon's pants leg. This in an era, according to the Washington Post, where, quote, irreverent misfits of a military forum are a key piece of a major intel leak. It highlights, the Post says, the challenge of guarding secrets in an era that fears not just TikTok, but also chat rooms. The US-based Discord has about 19 million of them, where secrets could be shared without much oversight.
All right, Solange, we'll stick with the ever-changing role of social media in our lives for this next story then. That's another controversy online over Twitter and mainstream media.
Yeah, the American broadcaster NPR has decided to no longer use Twitter. The National Public Radio made the move after Twitter designated it a, quote, state-affiliated media. They didn't change that to government-funded. It's a tag, though, that generally is used for authoritarian countries where there is not editorial independence, which NPR has. But the move doesn't stop there. Elon Musk has put his 2 cents in. As Huffington Post tells us, in their view, the owner of Twitter wrote a truly, truly petty reply. Now, let's take a look at that reply. He said on Twitter, quote, defund NPR. The squabble online has made many wonder whether or not other mainstream media will also follow suit.
We'll change gears now, Solange, and talk about Emmanuel Macron and the pushback that he's been facing. In addition to coverage of today's strike on pension reforms, the press is also discussing his remarks on China.
Yeah, Politico tells us that Macron has doubled down on his saying that France should not be a vassal of following the U.S. Hardliners into war in Taiwan, and that the French president ne regrette rien. He doesn't regret anything. For the Italian paper Il Foglio, it says that there might be some merit here. It writes the remarks are, quote, pretty easy prey to distorted interpretations. Instead, they deserve a real confrontation on what could be new European strategies. But beyond such views, the Le Monde tells us that Macron's words have elicited much criticism, both in the US and in Europe, and that in China in particular, his view has met much praise, namely with the Global Times. Let's take a look at one of their editorials from this week. The Global Times wrote that Macron may have been stepping on tails, perhaps they mean toes there, that his remarks, though, are words of truth, according to the Beijing-backed paper. But as Libération notes, The blowback has been fierce, and Macron is now in damage control. As West France puts it, this has created an international malaise that has come among France's allies. The timing was bad. It says it has created a diplomatic disaster.
All right, Solange, finally from you, you've also found a couple of articles about a meal gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, and it's not just any meal. As Courrier International tells us, the meal was made during the filming of an episode of the Spanish cooking TV reality show, Master Chef. One of the dishes left at least 44 people ill. This mass food poisoning episode was being filmed at Valencia Aquarium, the largest in Europe. The food ingested made, according to them, some 70 people ill. Whether it's 70 or 40, El País says that this is a case, the case was an absolute exception. According to the producers of the show, first in its 11 years, an investigation is underway, but it's thought that it was a mussel or some seafood that made everyone go belly up.
I imagine that chef won't be winning the competition then. Solange Moujon with the Press Review. Thank you very much. That's all we have for you for this edition of Live from Paris, but do stay with us. I'll be back in just a few minutes with another look at the day's top stories.